7 o'clock. I'd like to call to order the Public Works Committee meeting. Roll call, please.
Alderman Art Woods.
Here.
Alderman Curielli.
Here.
Alderman Carr.
Here.
Alderwoman Fonseca.
Here.
Alderman Fasano.
Here.
Alderman Ames.
Here.
Alderman Artie Woods.
Here.
And Alderman Catalano.
All right, we have a quorum present. I'd start off by making a motion to approve the meeting minutes of March 26, 2026 Public Works Committee meeting.
I'll second that.
Any comments, questions, corrections? All in favor? Oh, comment? Alderman Curielli?
Yeah, Alderperson Fonseca was not at that meeting, but it lists all her voting as abstained. I think that should be X'd out.
Okay. I don't think anyone would object to that, okay? All right, so I'll amend my motion to the minutes being corrected. Second,
I
you're
will
okay with
second
that?
it, yep.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. We have two items tonight. First, approval of an agreement between the City of Wooddale and Berger Excavating for the Ward 1 Stormwater Improvement Project in an amount not to exceed $2,551,554.10. Director Lang.
Thank you, Chairman. I had the bid opening for this project last week. This is for the construction of a new detention basin at the corner of Route 83 and Oak Meadows Avenue, retrofitting of the existing basin between Edgewood and Woodside Drive, and increasing the size of the conveyance sewers in between. We had budgeted $2.3 million for this in the CIP. The low bid came in at about $2.5 million. We have received $1.8 million in grant funding for this project. We also included an alternate to extend the sanitary sewer along the route shown here. The price for that was $635,000. However, given that this would only serve 7 currently unincorporated parcels that may or may not ever connect, for that price, we're recommending not proceeding with this work at this time, but certainly the council could elect to do that if they so choose.
Alderman Catalano.
Yeah, so when does this project start?
Assuming it's awarded here tonight, 4 to 6 weeks to get the contract in place, and then we're hoping that it can begin construction relatively soon. They are finishing up a project in Itasca, kind of similar scope, so it depends on their schedule, of course, but we'd like to have this done by the end of fall.
And how many homes would that affect? Would they benefit pretty much?
I don't know the exact number. This project was selected because it's the far downstream end of the system, so it provides a lot of benefit to all the areas that are tributary to it, to the northwest. So it's basically, everything from South Cedar to the east and Knollwood to the south.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm pretty sure I've asked you this before, but with all the budget constraints, just to be clear, to get the grants and the funding that we have to do this sooner rather than later, right?
Correct. The grant period for the GEICO grant ends in October. We could request an extension if needed. And the DuPage County grant that we were just awarded has a 2-year timeline, but it benefits us to move forward with it now.
Sure. Alderwoman Ames?
So you had mentioned that the CIP budget was like 2.3 million. This is a little over that. So where's that extra money? How's that coming in? Does that account for the grants that we got, or how are we making up the difference?
Yeah, some of that is accounted for in the grants. We didn't know about the DuPage County Water Quality Grant when we developed the CIP, but just like in a year, some projects come in over budget, some come in under budget. It all kind of balances out in the wash.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments, questions on this one? So I'll make a motion to approve the number as read without the additional $635,000.
Second.
Any other comments, questions on this one? Roll call, please.
Alderman Art Woods.
Yes.
Alderman Curielli.
Yes.
Alderman Carr.
Yes.
Alderwoman Fonseca.
Yes.
Alderman Fasano.
Yes.
Alderwoman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Artie Woods.
Yes.
And Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
And that passes. Finally, replacement of Public Works vehicles number 226 and number 506 in an amount not to exceed $415,000 even. That is my motion.
Second?
Director Lang?
These are 2 Public Works vehicles. 226 is a smaller bucket truck that the Streets Division gets a lot of use out of for sign installations, tree trimming, banner work, that sort of thing. And then 506 is the water main break and valve repair truck, that big box truck that you see the guys go out in when there's a water main break.
Any questions on this one?
I'm sorry.
Alderman Catalano?
Yeah. How old are those trucks? The ones that we're replacing, of course.
226 is a 2007, and 506 is a 2011.
Okay.
Alderman Currielli?
You say that the hydraulic lift is not working on one of them, so are you going to repair that, or are we going to be without a lift until we get the new truck?
So the hydraulic lift works, however, if you shut it off, for whatever reason, it will not work until the following day. I don't know why, so we're not going to repair that.
So you have to stay up for the day, or?
And we can get them back down. You just let the air out of the hose a little bit. No, you're good. But yeah, we're not going to spend any money to repair it. We're going to sell it as is. But we have another lift. We have other means of getting the work done that we need to.
Follow up?
One other question. Usually you provide a scorecard. I did see a scorecard.
I think I typically do that when I surplus the vehicles, but I can share that with the council and include that in these memos from now on. Interested?
Thank you.
I think I have the score, the vehicle efficiency rating in the memo, 39% for 226, and then...
But you do list that in here, but not the full score.
Yeah, I can include that going forward. I'll include that when we surplus the vehicle. I can include it in the council memo next week.
I'm going to vote no for that reason.
Anyone else? Roll call, please.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Artie Woods.
Yes.
Alderwoman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Fasano.
Yes.
Alderwoman Fonseca.
Yes.
Alderman Carr.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
No.
Alderman Artwoods.
Yes.
And that passes. Items to be considered at future meetings, fiscal year 27 I&I program on 423, fiscal year 27 I&I engineering also on 423, and pre-treatment agreement on 423. Does anyone else have anything they would like to add? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned.
Okay, I'd like to call the Public Health, Safety, and Judiciary Ethics Committee to order. Let the minute taker reflect all the same members are present. Next, I'll entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes from November 13th, 2025.
I'll make the motion.
Any questions, corrections, changes? None? Alderman Currielli, you got something?
I know I'm okay.
You're okay?
Yeah.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Next, report and recommendation, a resolution seeking to authorize a letter of intent to remain in the DuPage County Police Records Management System, PMRMS Consortium. Chief, take it away.
Thank you, Chairman. So we have been a member of this consortium for approximately 7 years. It's comprised of 30 DuPage County police agencies, and it's a software program that officers use to write the reports and document their interactions with citizens. We exchange this information with all 30 agencies, so if something happens in another town, we're aware of it. If something happens in our town, these other agencies are aware of that. Recently, DuPage County is looking to change vendors to get a new software program to replace the current one. They went out to RFP. Mark 43 was the selected choice, and they're looking for letters of intent that Wooddale wants to stay a part of this organization.
Any questions?
Is there any reason why we wouldn't? I mean, it seems to me that it's beneficial for you guys, right?
Correct. I'm looking to remain in it. There is a town that has already left, which is Addison, and Downers Grove and Oak Brook have also shown intent that they're looking to leave to develop their own systems, but it comes at a very high cost to run your own records system for your own department.
Any other? Well, I can't let you off the hook, so you knew that. On the cost, do we have any, I know these are the major costs for the unit, the 30 agencies. Do we have any breakdown of how that's, I know you won't have a financial breakdown, but how's that going to work out? Is it going to be a per community, per capita? How are we going to structure that?
So right now it is per user. So in the most recent billing cycle, we had 41 users. So in essence, they take out the yearly cost for the entire county, calculate how many total users there are, and you're billed for your users only. Just for example, most recently, the last billable year was $1.9 million for the entire county. We had 41 of 1,673 users, and our portion was just under $48,000 for the year.
Okay.
They're looking to continue that same method going forward.
Excellent. And so again, just for clarity, tonight, we're just passing the letter of intent to stay in the consortium to finish the negotiation, right? We still have the power to pull out if we didn't like the final outcome.
That is correct. There's a provision that if the costs end up exceeding 10% of what is expected, we are not locked in, and we can evaluate if we want to remain or not.
And I don't know if you know the, Mayor, you had a question?
No, go ahead, finish.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you know the answer, but so as we continue down the path and negotiate, and as you said, some communities are opting out to do their own system, is there any concern that the 30 in the consortium now might bail, which would then raise the cost individually for all the communities, each?
Yeah, that's kind of what the county's looking to gauge right now with this letter of intent.
Gotcha.
The one previous agency that left and the two that are in the process of leaving, the current vendor contract with Hexagon is good through June of 2027. They didn't want to wait. They signed long-term 10-year contracts with Axon for millions of dollars. And I think now they're probably wishing they would have given it a little more time.
Gotcha. Mayor?
Yeah, so basically you said the consortium is paying 1.9 million, right? I think you said, and the bid came in at basically the same price, but our cost could go up a little bit because of these 3 municipalities that have already decided to step down. And, I mean, Axon was the largest bill, and I would anticipate no other community would want to leave after looking these types of numbers. But there'll be a slight increase for us just because 3 municipalities have left, and we don't know what that is right now.
Chief? Go ahead.
Yes or no? So right now, the estimate with Mark 43, the new vendor, is 7.7 million over 5 years. If you break it down per year, it's about 1.5 million a year, which is almost $500,000 less than we paid this last year. There is an implementation fee up front of $1.86 million. If that's split out per users, we'd be looking at possibly a $50,000 implementation fee plus then a yearly fee. But there is some talk that maybe the way they've been billing us, they have been building in some money available, so we may not get hit with that initial implementation fee.
Okay.
Any more?
No, it was more for, I had already asked a question just for people listening, that's all.
Yeah, so, just to follow up, so when this comes back, we'll have a little more information on how those pieces are all gonna fit together and what the costs are.
Yeah, once they have a contract finalized, we'll have a better cost structure, an idea what we're going to pay year over year.
I'll make a motion to approve the
Second?
letter of intent. Roll call?
Alderman Catalano?
Yes.
Alderman Artie Woods?
Yes.
Alderwoman Ames?
Yes.
Alderman Fasano?
Yes.
Alderwoman Fonseca?
Yes.
Alderman Carr?
Yes.
Alderman Currielli?
Yes.
And Alderman Art Woods.
Yes. That passes. Next, items to be considered at future meetings, Fenton High School IGA, 514, Police Department fee and fine review. Why didn't we do that with the other stuff?
We briefly talked about it during budget, but
Too many things
the
going.
direction was to push it down the road.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. And new squad car / body cameras, 514 also. Is there anything else? Alderwoman Ames.
Yes, Chief, I had a call recently regarding the kiosk parking unit at the Metro station, that it was having some technical difficulties resulting in parking tickets for people who were trying to pay, and I just wanted to make sure that, I don't know what the maintenance schedule is on that or how often that's looked at, but just to make sure that it's in working order. And is there like a preventative maintenance cycle where they come out and look at it? I don't know how old that machine is. Is that something that we can look into and make sure it's working properly?
Chief?
Yeah, I believe that equipment was last put in 2003. I know there was an issue last week with it accepting dollars, I believe, and it's since been corrected. We did not receive any calls ourselves, so I know Deputy Chief Banasinski heard it directly from you.
I
But-
definitely heard about it.
But
so
nobody,
yes, I want to pass it along.
Nobody took the time to reach out to us to let us know about it. It's something we can look at budgeting for to replace. I'm not sure the exact cost of that equipment, but they do yearly maintenance as part of our ongoing contract.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I'd appreciate having an update on that. If it was in 2003, that's, I don't know what the life cycle is on that, but that seems a little dated, so, thank you.
Okay, thanks. There being nothing else, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
I'd like to call to order the Finance and Administration Committee meeting. If the minute taker can note the same members are present. I'd like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for the Finance and Administration Committee from March 12th, 2026.
Second.
Any corrections, comments? Alderman Currielli?
Yeah, one correction. I'm listed as present at that meeting. I was actually absent. And it lists Alderman Fasano as being absent, and I believe he was present. So
It's hard to tell you guys apart.
I know. And the vote needs to be corrected as well. Okay.
Okay. Anything else? If we can amend the minutes to reflect those changes, I'm fine with that. Second, you're okay? Good?
Artie's the second.
Yeah,
Oh, did you
good.
say, I
Yeah.
thought no, did, I'm sorry.
You're good. I'm good
Okay.
with everyone being accounted for appropriately.
Okay, perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and that passes. I do have one report and recommendation this evening. It is from the Wooddale Park District, an updated TIF funding request. Director Wilson?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Yeah, I'll turn over the Park District here real quick, but just my understanding is that when they came for the initial request, that was based on the cost estimate from their engineer. Now that they've gone to bid and have hard costs, bid result costs, they're coming back asking for additional funding just based upon that, the difference between the original estimated cost and the bid costs. But I would have to defer to representatives from the Park District for a more in-depth response or answer to that question, but that's my understanding of where we're at this evening. So if it's okay with the chairwoman, I turn over to Mr. Marquardt.
Absolutely.
Ms. Montaigne.
Actually, I turn it over to my Director of Finance and Enterprise Operations.
Yes. First off, I want to say thank you to you guys for the first approval of the TIF. It means a lot to us in the community when we can work together as a unit and provide a service to the community as to what we're doing here, and to serve the purpose of the TIF that everybody questions every time and asks, where's it going? So with that being said, that's the reason why we're doing the roof and the HVAC, because it serves the community where people look to us for shelter, and when they need a warm place to stay when their house is not up to par code at this moment. Again, I know it's an unheard of number of a 60%, but that 60% does mean a lot and go a further way because of the price increases, and every day we're getting stuck with increasing costs, and we can't predict what it is, and with the project being delayed sometimes, I'm just coming with a figure that I know would be a safe figure and one that basically a best practice to do for finance.
I'd like to make a motion on this for a 50%, and not the 60%, just to stay consistent with what we have approved for other taxing bodies for that, which would reduce the amount of the ask. It looks like with the $1,553,680, 50% of that would be $776,840, and the $555,000 was previously approved, which would make the difference $221,840 versus the $377,208 that's being asked for. So I would like to put a motion on the floor to approve that amount of an increase, bringing it to 50% rather than 60.
I second that.
Alderman Artie Woods? Or, I'm sorry, Art Woods.
That's all right.
Sorry.
I have to tell you. So we know projects go up, right? Because we just went through that with the road projects literally 5 minutes ago. So there's never any way of knowing until you actually get the prices. My only question probably was, and it's somewhat related to the motioner's motion, what was the thought process or driver of going from 50% to 60%? Is there some...
It was just a best practice for finance to do because, again, cost is unpredictable right now with the cost of material, items being back ordered and delayed, so we don't know what to predict the future cost would be. When we first came to you guys, that cost was 1.1.
Right.
And within a span of a couple months, it increases. So we can't predict what the market is, but just for me to not come back again another time, that was just the best practice to do right now.
Right, so what you're saying in the process, much like our road projects, as you get into it, that project price still could go up.
And it's just to not come back again for additional funding.
Right.
And waste taxpayers' time coming back to another meeting. So 10% is always a safe bet.
I don't, given the, everything that's going on in the economy, I mean, I don't have a problem with the raised value. What's the difference, 200,000 more?
It's like,
Right, for the 50%.
No, it's from the motion, from the 50% to the 60%. Is that a 150,000? I didn't do the math.
About,
sorry.
yeah, 377 versus.
About another 150.
Yeah, 150,000.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, and in my head, that was really where I was at originally, going, let's keep it fair. But when you look at that, if we spread that same thought process across all the things we did, we would have to knock out half the projects we ever did here in Wooddale. So if the motioner and the second would agree, I don't have any problem giving them the 60%, it really.
Mayor, please.
yeah. So, I mean, if we go 60 here, I would imagine the fire district's going to come right back and ask us for another 10% also, which for their project probably be another 200,000, right? So, and again, I'm going to ask the staff, what is it that needs to be done? And I know I went through this drill again this week. I'm hearing roads, we got lift stations, all this stuff. What are the costs of these things? I mean, the TIF is only for another, I think, what, 11 years, Brad? Am I right, or 12 more, 10? I forget the number.
Director Wilson.
To 37, so.
To 30, okay, so 11 years.
Max up till
Yeah.
2037 max.
Yeah. So if we know these things, we have the taxing bodies, if the money's there, you know, again, I know we have to do it proportionally because I know the fire district puts in more than the park district, the city, and the library, right? So I want to make sure we keep everything proportional and keep it right. But we don't have those numbers. You know, I know we talked about a strat planning. We mentioned it I think when the fire department was here, I said it. Do we have any numbers on what these costs are that need to be done? List, do we even have the list yet? I mean, I don't have a problem going up that 200,000, and if I knew what the numbers were, I don't have a problem going to 60% for everybody also. But without knowing, I feel like sometimes, you know, we're trying to do the right thing, but sometimes you step over your skis and then all of a sudden something pops up. I don't know what all those other things are. And I honestly, I need the staff to sometime in the next 6 months get us that list. Because I'm sure somebody else is going to come forward. I'm here in the school, got more doors to do and stuff. I mean, if we can go to 60% easily, and I know for 150,000, looking at what's in there, yeah, we have the money in there. But nobody's told me what the expenses are. We want to be fair to the taxing bodies. We all serve the same people. But we don't know those numbers. That's my only problem.
Director Wilson?
Yes, I would say that's correct, we don't. I'd also say, even if we had numbers 2 months ago, those are probably different numbers today, based upon everything that's going on. So, we do have some numbers in the CIP for some of the water infrastructure that Mr. Lang and his team have kind of projected out a few of those projects. But all the projects, that you are correct, there's not numbers assigned to all of the projects at this point in time. Which we can do that, but as we're sitting here today, that's not written down at this point.
Follow-up?
Yeah, again, what are the items? And I know we can, general ballpark, let's face it, their project went up. We just approved one that was higher ourselves. Do we have an idea of what's going to be needed in the next 10 years? And hopefully, we can get rid of this TIF earlier and not go to 11 years. I know this one's was a little different than the other one, but we got to have some kind of out that's, if we want to get out a few years earlier, which is beneficial to everybody anyways. Okay.
Alderman Artwood?
Yeah, so a couple things I 100% agree, a couple things I view differently, but generally I think we're on the same page. We talked about this back and forth. One, I've brought up ending this early so the other taxing bodies can start to get their revenue, right? We've had that discussion a little bit. We've got the discussion of what are the things that we're going to bring to the budget that we need to pay for, which is why I pushed to get what are those funds producing, what are their TIFs, right, which we just recently got. Where I kind of depart from the thought process of 50%, 60%, that's really not that relevant, because if one's getting 50% of 5 million, that's different than 60% of 2 million. So the percentage isn't a thing, it's the dollar amount. And we did give the fire department an ambulance prior to their last draw too. So I don't want to make this a war, one body against the other. I don't think that that's what we're here for. Can we look at it? Can we get some feedback from finance before the council meeting of what that looks like or what that does, this ask, not trying to figure out the next 25 years or everything, but, the overall effect of 50% ask versus a 60% ask? Because I don't know the numbers, the dollars off the top of my head.
Mayor, please.
Go ahead, Brad.
Dr. Wilson? Just want to jump in.
So, I guess I'll ask Alderman Woods a question, which is kind of weird, I'm asking you a question, but is the question, is that 150,000 going to be that impactful in the short term to the TIF?
Correct.
No.
Okay. So then I would stay with my, if we could, the 60%. I know, again, we're hung up on the percent, but it's, if we're going to try to make things even, it would have to be the dollar amount, not the percent, to not make it overly complicated, in my opinion.
Mayor, please.
Right. And again, I look at these numbers, right? So if we give the 60%, basically we're giving 75% of the TIF money back to the Park District, where the Fire District, it's not even 30%, because they put in more money, right?
I'm confused. What percent are you saying?
So the money, everybody contributes a certain amount to the TIF, right? So as of right now, the Park District's in for about $1.5 million. You give them 900,000, you're giving them almost 70%. The Fire District is in for 3.5. They got $1,100,000, right? So the percentages.
But percentage of the total amount that they would be
of what they put
taxing?
in, right? It's the percentage of what they put in. I just want to make sure we're treating all the
But then what
all the
are the
taxing bodies.
multipliers, the Park District versus the Fire Department?
Right, they put in more
Especially
money.
since they got a
Right, no, no.
an increase. So I don't know if that's, I understand what you're saying now, but I'm not.
And 150,000, right,
That's a-
is not going to be a detriment to the thing.
I'd have to
but-
give I'd have to get my spreadsheet out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, it's, and the thing is, so is the fire district, well, okay, let's get 60%, they're gonna come back, they're gonna want another 200,000, right? We just did it, and I don't even think they started the project yet. I just want to be fair to all the taxing bodies, I want this to work out right. I don't want to hear, oh, you gave them 70%, we're only getting 30%. We're keeping it by project at 50%, you know. So,
But again, if one brings a bigger
Alderwoman-
project, it's not the same.
Alderwoman
That's-
Fonseca?
I get,
no, I get it.
So I'm also leaning on that side of the fence, because if there's more contribution directly from the fire versus the park district, so if there's been a precedence for 50%, and we all understand that the prices are increasing across the board, so that 50% will increase anyway for anybody else that's going to be requesting funding, right? So it's going to be a higher number regardless. So if there's already been a precedence, and I don't have the full history, but I have a little bit, I would probably I would lean towards sticking with that 50%, especially with that case of the fire tip funding contribution being a higher percentage as well. So just wanted to put it out there that I understand that logic.
Any other questions, comments? I know there was another option from Alderman.
Well, there's a motion, yes for an amendment.
I'm
If you didn't agree,
not in agreement to change that.
then we go with the first
Second.
motion.
Yes. Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Fonseca,
Yes.
Alderman Fasano,
Yes.
Alderwoman Ames,
Yes.
Alderman Artie Woods,
No.
Alderman Catalano,
Yes.
Alderman Currielli,
Yes.
Alderman Carr,
Yes.
Alderman Art Woods.
no.
And that passes. Items to be considered at future meetings. I don't have any. Does anyone have anything for future meetings? There are none. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.